But as it is written, eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither hath entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit.
Psalms chapter 17, verse 15. As for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness. Shalom Yasharala, peace Israel. Call Halayim Allah, Alahayanawa, Abanawa, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham Rakapadash. All praise to our power, our Father, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, in the name of Holy Spirit. Double honor to elder apostles and elder bishops, great millstone. Peace and blessing to your hopeful elect out there. You brothers teaching his word in truth and in sincerity, okay? Yahweh Shai will make you elect like him. Yahweh Shai will make you hopeful elect out there just like him. He's gonna make you just like him, and he's gonna give you everything in due season. Okay? I'm gonna read the scripture again, and then I'll get another. Just gonna read two scriptures in the Psalms. Psalms chapter 17 and verse 15 again. As for me, and this is Psalm of David, and we know King David was an Israelite. Or should I say he is an Israelite, okay? So this verse right here is only for the Israelites, beginning with the elect. Those are part of the house of David. Because King David himself, he wrote this. Psalm 17 and 15. As for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness, meaning you will behold this truth, okay? This truth is the Lord's face. His image. You're looking at his face in righteousness by you understanding this truth. Okay? He opened up your mind to receive this word. You understand and believe in the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. You understand and believe in the true proper name of his beloved Son, Yahweh Shai. You know that we're the Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You understand this truth. So you're beholding his face in righteousness, meaning you're understanding these scriptures. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness, meaning when you're changed. When Yahweh Shai returns to this earth, he's gonna quicken you. He's gonna give you life. When you receive that new body, it's like you're waking up for the first time. Totally refreshed, totally renewed, totally rejuvenated. A whole new world, a whole new life. That's how it's going to be when you receive that immortal body. You will be satisfied when you awake with his likeness, meaning you're going to be changed and you're going to be just like him. Because he is the perfect model. He is the archetype. So for you hopeful elect out there, you're being made into different versions of Yahweh Shai. When he returns to this planet Earth, he's going to make you just like him. First, he gave you this truth. You have this truth by way of his death and resurrection, because Yahweh Shai had to die for us to receive this truth, this word. So you're beholding his face by you look at his word. So you see Yahweh Shai all the time. You see Yahweh Shai by way of his word, because he is the word. He comes in a volume of the book. And the more you get into this book, the more you're becoming like his image spiritually. And when he returns to this earth, physically, you're going to be like him. Physically, you're going to be changed. And you're going to receive that new covenant. The law, statutes, and commandments will be in your mind. You're going to be programmed to do righteousness. Okay? You will have the law, statutes, and commandments downloaded within your brain. You're going to be satisfied when you awake with his likeness, meaning when he returns, he's going to beam you up, deliver you, and you're going to be just like him. And he's going to give you everything. He will give you everything, man, because he himself received everything. Now, this is Psalms chapter 16, beginning verse 9. Therefore, my heart is glad. This is Yahweh Shai speaking in the spirit.
All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, and Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out there. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All right. Well, I want to get into this morning, this morning, news and prophecy. All right. The kingdom of Satan will fall. All right. And what we're seeing is the devil, be more straightforward. All right. About, him being the man of sin. All right. This man, all right, coming in the working of Satan, the spirit of Satan. And this new world order is based on pure Satanism. He's gradually, incorporated, Satanism into the culture of this world, to where most people, have satanic principles, okay, that do as thou wilt spirit, that my truth, okay, my body, my choice. These are all satanic principles. Feminism, you go into the gang culture, the Crips and the blood, the red, the blue, all it goes back to idolatry and Satanism. Okay. And it's been crypto, because crypto, goes into hidden, So these things, Satanism has been interwoven, into all facets of life in this society. Okay. And the rituals that come with it. Okay. That's why, the abortion clinics, you go back to Molech, which all it goes back to those ancient Canaanite deities, which was heavy into Satanism. All right. And Esau, he's incorporating all, the rituals and gods and the philosophies of the ancient Canaanites into this current world. Okay. Easter, that goes back to Ashtaroth, which is an ancient Canaanite deity, man. That queen of heaven, that fertility goddess. Why you got the eggs, the Easter bunnies, sexual rituals and magic. Okay. So forth and so on. So this devil is now bringing this to the forefront, because this new world order, he plans on the new world order being openly satanic. That's why he wants complete control to, if there's any opposition to that, he can just unalive you, man. Okay. So this devil, all right, he's gradually herding people, all right, into Satanism. That's the ideology of the new world order. Okay. And physically, he's herding people to this digital infrastructure, which is going to be getting that C-hip. Ultimately, that C-hip is going to fully merge you with this infrastructure, man. And that's you fully bending the knee to Baal. Okay? So this is what we're seeing happening, with the devil, man. So I want to get some precepts, all right? And then I have a couple videos I want to get into, okay? So this is, and there's some beautiful times, man. The Lord got this, coming about. And then I also, too, want to segue a little later on, Abaratazah, if time and the spirit allow, to get into the post, Trump Netanyahu talks, man. Okay. And showing you that prophecy is prevailing. All right. Now, this is the book of Mark 4:22 said, for there is nothing hid which shall not be manifested, neither was anything kept secret, but that it should come abroad. Okay, so everything is manifesting and coming abroad, what these devils been on in the background, man. Okay, because this is the age of Satan. All right, and Esau, Edom, he's tapped into Satan like no other heathen has been. He's been given, technology and, the ability to do left hand magic like no other heathen has been able to do. Okay. So Esau, Edom is tapped into Satan on a whole nother level. All right. And ultimately goes back to the serpent, which we know the spirit of the serpent, all right, resides in the nation of Edom today, especially at the top, dealing with Amalek. All right. You got ears to hear. Okay. If you can receive it. Now let's go here, because during the time of the Edom, all right, pagan Roman Empire, all right, the Apostle Paul, he compared, Esau unto, Egypt, okay, and he compared the devil, to Satan, as followers of Satan, okay. So in Romans 9 to 30, Romans chapter 9 verse 13, Romans chapter 9, he compares Esau unto Egypt, okay. Let me see. Yep. So let's read this, okay? And then in Second Thessalonians, he associates Esau to who? Satan. Okay. This is Second Thessalonians 2:7 says, "For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way." Okay. Now let's link that up with Romans the 9th chapter. Okay, real quick, just to link it up. So the Lord is has allowed this man to prosper in wickedness, to run the earth in the energy and the spirit of Satan. Okay, the Lord has allowed this man, to do this, man. Okay, and in his mind, in the Esau's mind, he's become unstoppable. He's reached a point to where he can't be stopped. Okay, so when you go here, all right, Romans 9:13, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Okay, so now it's going into Jacob and Esau. Okay, so why is the Apostle Paul writing to, if these are, actual heathens, why is he writing to them about the history of Jacob and Esau, man? Okay, because the Apostle Paul is writing to Israelites, okay, under the dominion of an Edomite government. So he's writing to Israelites under the dominion of an Edomite government, man. So he's likening Esau to Pharaoh. All right, at the time it was the Romans. Okay, and now we're in the new Roman Empire, okay, with these Edomites, all right, ruling over us just as ancient Pharaoh. Okay, so the Apostle Paul, he's writing to Israelites, all right, within, Rome, and he's comparing, all right, Esau, Edom, okay, which was the rulers of Rome, to Pharaoh. You see? So it says, "What shall we say then? Their unrighteousness with the Most High forbid. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. See then, it is not on him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but the Most High that showeth mercy. For the scripture said unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth." Okay, so Esau, Edom, has been exalted in the earth for the Lord to show his power. Okay, that's the purpose. Esau has been raised up, and the Egyptians, they was heavy into the dark magics, man. Okay, and that's why we was warned to be not like them. Okay, we're gonna get that. All right, well, first let's get this. Okay, we're gonna link Esau, okay, to the wickedness of Canaan, okay, and the Egyptians, man. So you go here, all right, as it links Esau to Pharaoh, all right, and then Second Thessalonians, Esau was linked, okay, to Satan, man. Okay, this is a high level wickedness, that runs the earth, man. Okay, so going back to Second Thessalonians 2:7, all right, making sure we all good. Okay. So this Second Thessalonians 2:7 said, "For the mystery of iniquity Okay, dope already works. So Apostle Paul let you know, look, these niggas are already at work. The mystery of iniquity, man. Okay, the devil that the Bible speaks of, this nigga's already in power. The anti-Messiah. Okay, that was the ancient Rome was an anti-Messiah government, man. Okay, only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. Okay, and now we're in the time where the devil is going to be taken out of the way. But before he's taken out of the way, what will happen? And then shall their wicked be revealed. You see, there will be a revealing of this devil before he will be removed. It said, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Okay, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, which is Yahweh shot in the chariots, man. Okay, so this devil will be revealed by what? The prophets, man. Okay, and the prophets are consuming this devil, man. The word, all right, the spirit of Yahweh by Shem Al Shah that's on the prophets is consuming Esau, man, to where he's wearied in his counsel and he's scrambling, man. Okay, and this nigga is trying his best not to do, all right, what the prophets, what the prophecy say that he's going to do, but he has no choice. Okay, verse 9 says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonder, man. You know, and the part of his signs and lying wonders is his technology, man. And at the forefront of the technology is AI. Okay, because this technology is satanic. It has a satanic energy behind it. The technology itself isn't wicked, but this devil has a satanic agenda, all right, behind the technology, man. You know, and he hypes this technology to be a god, you know, to be an idol. He exalts his technology to be an idol, to be worshipped, man. Okay, even whose coming is after the working of Satan. Okay, you go into the word working. Okay, I want to see. I'm going to the word ain't coming. I wonder what this going to. Never looked it up. So they get this word coming. Let's see. Yep. So his coming, his presence. You see that? That's the word in the Greek. All right. Look. That's in the Greek.
Strong's G 3952. Parousia. Parousia.
Parousia. Okay. It says his presence, the coming, arrival. All right. The advent, man. Okay. So this devil's presence is the presence of Satan. Okay. This devil's rulership has brought Satan's presence. All right, Satan's presence dominates the earth in this nigga's rulership, man. Okay, and that's why the earth is so comfortable in sin and wickedness, man, because the presence of Satan dominates the earth. Okay, that's why the scriptures say he that departed from evil, making himself a prey, man, because this is a satanic society, man. So when we depart from wickedness and we come back to truth, we become, you know, opposition to this world. All right, that's dominated by Satan under Esau, man. Okay, so you go into the word working. All right, let's go here. You see?
Strong's G 1753. Energia.
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 Okay, which you go into, I think it says it in the English. Let me see. Yep, it says working, efficiency. All right, yep. It says efficiency, energy, operation. Okay, so this nigga operates in this under the spirit of Satan, man. Okay, which is lewdness, wickedness, rebellion. Okay, and this is what's coming to the forefront in this man's kingdom. Okay, so you go here. All right, to Deuteronomy. All right, this Deuteronomy 32 and 32. Okay, it says, for their vine is of the vine of Sodom and the fields of Gomorrah. Okay, so Esau comes off their vine of Sodom. Okay, that lewd left hand spirit, and it's just coming out. This is at the top. Okay, this is the elites. This is what they do. Okay, these small circles, okay, of elites that run the world, they're heavy into their spirit, man, of Sodom. You know, they're from that vine, they're cut from that cloth of Sodom. And the fields of Gomorrah, they're grapes, okay, which goes into their doctrine, are grapes of gall. Their clusters are bitter. Man, this is a very bitter doctrine, okay, and philosophy that these devils run the earth with, man. You know, what children are prey, okay? There's, you know, the women are, you know, in harlot mode, okay? Families are destroyed. You see, constant war. You know, this is a very bitter doctrine, okay, of Satan that this nigga runs the earth with, man. You see, the earth is being destroyed. You know, the food's losing its nutrients. And you see, just a ripple effect that makes life bitter, okay, under the energy of Satan, man, under Esau, man. Okay, it says their wine is as poison of dragons. They're going back to the philosophy, man. And they said the poison of dragons. Okay, isn't Rome like into a dragon? Okay, so you see how I link Sodom and Gomorrah with the dragon? It says, in the cruel venom of asp, which goes back what to the serpent. The serpent morphed into this dragon of the Greco-Roman Empire, and it was wounded, and it came back. And this time, okay, it was revived, it was healed. Okay, and this time stronger than ever, man. Okay, more wicked than ever, man. You see? So it all links up, man. The serpent, all right, these Canaanites, okay, and this modern, okay, dragon, you know, the modern Roman Empire, okay, which is likened to what? The dragon, man. Okay, that dominates the earth today. You know, this beast. Okay, so that crafty serpent has mutated into a full beast, man, a full dragon that dominates the earth, man. Okay, through witchcraft and war and deception. Okay, and you go here because Sodom, who was Sodom? Okay, so you go to Sodom. All right, so Sodom is equals burning. All right, because people were burning in their lust, okay, and wickedness, man. You know, so the Lord judged that place with fire. You know, a place where people burnt in their lust, man. It says a Canaanite city, usually paired with Gomorrah, located in the area of the Dead Sea and the Jordan River, both cities destroyed by the Most High in judgment. Okay, so it was a Canaanite city. Okay, so it was Canaan, man. Okay, that infamous city of Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, those Canaanites, man. Okay, so you go here because when you go into the law, it was anti Canaan. You see, when you go into let's see, let's get it. I believe it's in Deuteronomy. You know, Numbers. Okay. Let's see real quick. I got something pulled up in the chat. So when you go to let's pull this up real quick. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's see, 18 and 9. All right, let's get the NLT too. All right, so Deuteronomy 18 and 9, it says, because these are the Canaanites that was in the land, you know, so these are the Canaanites that the Lord is referring to. It says, when you enter the land the Lord your power is giving you, be very careful not to imitate the detestable customs of the nations living there. all right, which is Canaanite. For example, never sacrifice your son and daughter as a burnt offering, and do not let your people practice fortune telling or use sorcery or interpret omens or engage in witchcraft, man. So these things were forbidden unto us, man. Okay, and as you can see in this current world, man, this is the norm. Okay, this is the norm. All right, amongst Jake, man. You see, witchcraft is on the rise. Okay, sacrificing your sons and daughter, whether through abortion or giving them over to these lifestyles, street niggas and hot girl, to where they destroy themselves, man. That's a lifestyle of torment, man. Okay, giving these celebrities giving their sons over to be transformers. That's them offering their son to Molech, man. Okay, it says or cast spells or function as mediums or psychics or call forth the spirits of the dead. Anyone who does these things is detestable to the Lord. Is because it is because the other nations have done these detestable things that the Lord your power will drive them out ahead of you. You says, but you must be blameless before the Lord your power. The nations you are about to displace consult sorcerers and fortune tellers, but the Lord your power forbids you to do such things, man. Okay, and the nation that run the earth today, which the Lord is getting ready to place their ass, Esau. Okay, they're into the same thing. They run the world off sorcery and fortune tellers and witchcraft. Okay, left hand magic, man. All right, and the Lord's getting ready to displace their ass, man. Okay, so go from there when you get let's see, Leviticus 18. Okay, and you read Leviticus, man, and it goes into sexual immorality. All right, and this was anti-Canaan in Egypt culture, man. Our law was based off anti-Canaan and Egyptian culture, man. A lot of it, man. Leviticus 18:1. Then the Lord said to Moses, give the following instruction to the people of Israel. I'm the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, your power. So do not act like the people in Egypt, all right, where you used to live, or like the people of Canaan, where I am taking you. You must not imitate their way of life. Okay? So what does Esau? Esau was known as what, the spiritual Egyptians. Okay? Why America known as spiritual Egypt and Sodom, which that's Mizraim and Canaan. Okay? The two nations the Lord told us not to act like. Esau embodies both of those nations. The ancient Canaanites and the ancient Egyptians, man. Okay? That's why when you fast forward here to Revelation 11, how does it describe America, man? Ran by Esau. Okay, and then we'll segue into the video. Okay, this is the book of Revelation 11. Okay, look at this in KJV, Revelation 11. And I pray this is making sense. Okay, as we linking the devil. Okay, Esau, Edom. He's carrying on the legacy of Satan in the earth, man. Okay, so this is Revelation 11:8, and it says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom, Canaan, okay, and Egypt. You see, Mizraim, the two nations that the Lord told us not to imitate, and Esau embodies both of them, man. Which they got this from the serpent. Okay, these Canaanites, these Hamites. Okay, and Esau went and got it back. When he came into power, man. Okay. You see, it says where our Lord was crucified, your righteousness was crucified. Okay, because Canaanite culture was anti-Messiah, man. It was anti-righteousness. Okay, it was everything that the Lord despised. So if your culture, your society is pro-Canaan, pro-Egypt, pro-Ham, is pro-Satan, which is anti-Messiah. So this is where the ways of righteousness, the way of Yahweh Shai was crucified. This is Esau, Edom, America is the platform, okay, of rebellion in the planet Earth, man. This is the motherland of rebellion, and that's why so many missiles, okay, are gonna come to America, man. So let's play this because we know they got all right the Olympics coming up, and they did the opening games. I mean the opening ceremonies, all right, and it was just straight satanic. Okay, they did a very, blasphemous opening games, last year. Okay, and they're on the same thing this year, man. Okay, or the last Olympics, whenever. Okay, so let's play this real quick. I think that was last year. They're gonna mention it. But let's play this.
Become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. The 2026 Winter Olympics has taken place, and the opening ceremony, of course, shouldn't surprise anyone. We constantly, every single year, can guarantee when we see the Olympics or we see the Grammys or we see the Oscars or we see the MTV Video Music Awards or the Super Bowl halftime show, which will be filled with it as well, that we will see a massive satanic ritual take place. Of course, some people like to laugh it off. They like to dismiss these things and say that we're all paranoid Christian conspiracy theorists, right? But we've been proven right time and time again. And unfortunately, we're now living among this MAGA hysteria, this manufactured Christian nationalist movement, which is coming to you directly from the Central Intelligence Agency, which has made people doubt the truth in plain sight even more than ever before, because they are in such a deep psychosis that they cannot stand anybody who votes differently than they do. But the joke's really on them, because their vote doesn't actually count. But as you can see on the screen, it does not take Nostradamus to tell you or to show you that this is a satanic ritual. You can see inside of what appears to be the Arch of Baal. You can see that upside down pentagram and the flames coming up all around. But of course, people like to dismiss these things because either the truth is too hard for them to swallow, or of course, they refuse to see the obvious signs and symbols that surround them on a day in, day out basis. So take a look inside of this arch. You can see, again, remember the Arch of Baal, which once again is being rolled out, in fact, being erected in the United States of America, that monumental arch of Palmyra, of the sanctuary complex, which has been dedicated to their god Baal. And just like we see obelisks all around us, the Washington Monument, for example, which happens to be 555.5 feet tall, which also happens to be 6,666 inches. And of course, coincidentally as well, happens to be 55.5 feet wide. The obelisk represents Baal's shaft, which is why we constantly see obelisks erected all around the world. The same with these archways that you'll see in New York and in Paris. And of course, Mr. Christian himself, right? The guy playing the role who's duping people like we've never seen duped before, happens to be erecting one right in the middle of Babylon itself, right in the middle of Washington, D.C. So you have this obvious opening ceremony, right? And how many times have we seen the Olympic ceremonies revealing the truth in front of our faces? Because that's what they do. They use these events as mass rituals. Most people out there should already know that the Olympics are satanic. It shouldn't be some type of, oh my goodness, they're not hiding anymore. Well, the Olympic Games themselves are pagan, and the true origins of the Olympics have nothing to do with some athletes competing against one another playing basketball. These are satanic rituals and ceremonies that they use to celebrate their father, their God. Remember last year we saw the decapitated head. I mean, these things that conjure in your mind the spirit of sports and athleticism, right? Decapitated heads, or just in the past, of course, seeing the phoenix rising out of the ashes. We even had this visual, which of course they did by design to work Christians into a hysterics last year, where Just taking a look at the body at home, instant diabetes. When you take a
So last year they did the trans Last Supper, and it's just straight blasphemy, man. If a brother can post it in Ezekiel 35:13, and it's just blasphemy, man. Okay, and this is the devil boasting in his rebellion. This is him boasting in his rebellion, man. Okay, he's just coming to the forefront with it. Okay, and that transformer is heavy when you go into Satanism, man. That's why that's at the forefront of everything. This whole trans thing, man. Because you have the alphabet, but it's like trans got its own subsection within the alphabet to where they push it on another level. This whole trans thing, man. Okay, it has its own flag outside of the pride flag, this whole trans thing, because that goes into, Baphomet, all right, the dual gender deity, okay, and the goat of Mendes, all these things go back to these ancient Canaanites, man, okay, and ultimately it goes back to the serpent, all right, but the Canaanites revived all this lewdness after the flood, okay, so let's play this.
look by design to piss people off and continue to divide people and do things like that to make Christians feel like they're being attacked. We saw the Lucifer coming down from the sky last year, right? The gold depiction of Lucifer, and even them recreating the Tower of Babel with Lucifer himself at the tippy top of that tower. And again, those videos are available on the website for anybody out there that wants to go through all of my archived content. We even saw, of course, behold the pale horse, which just randomly rode out at the end of the ceremony last year. And again, it's important for people to understand, because people all of a sudden think that they're seeing this stuff ramped up, this satanic activity around us. You could go back to the 70s. You could look at bands like, Ozzy Osbourne, who's doing all of the satanic stuff, writing songs about Aleister Crowley. The Beatles having Aleister Crowley, who is a known occultist, whose teachings talk about making blood sacrifice with young boys. And that's where they get their teachings from, the man who called himself the Beast 666. So people shouldn't be looking around. They shouldn't be going, I can't believe it. That is the Arch of Baal. Okay. You could clearly see the pentagram, the goat of Mendes in the center. It's not being hidden. Donald Trump is building it out in America, but most of these people refuse to believe it. And I mean, when you look at the origins of the Olympics, it goes back to Zeus. Okay. It goes back to Zeus. It's a pagan ceremony in ancient Greece that was held for Zeus, the Greek name for Baal Hadad. And it's through these types of ceremonies that we've become such a normalized society to these pagan traditions. We could go and we could debate day and night about the origins of Christmas, right? And Saturnalia. And you think it's a coincidence that they use Saturn's rings as the logo for the Olympic Games? I mean, it's all right there for people to see. In fact, they even talked a couple of years ago about Zeus and Baal and this bronze bull that was discovered in Greece, and it served as a sacrificial offering to the god Zeus. And we know, of course, when it comes to Baal, what sacrifice they're really referencing, right? They're referencing human sacrifice. Throughout the Bible, we are taught about Baal worship and sacrifice and the children being sacrificed to Baal, the Canaanite god Baal. So what else did we get while we had the opening ceremony? Because, of course, we'll have something at the closing ceremony. We get some of the...
So, yeah, these devils, they're just out in the open now, okay? And they're just bringing it out to the forefront, and they're boasting in it, okay? And that's why you, let's go from there. Let's get this, and then we'll segue to this next video, all right? Because if these devils are coming to the forefront, they're still divided. All right, now this is the brother Mark of Ball 89, Ezekiel 35:13. It said, thus with your mouth have you boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. Okay, so the Lord is seeing and hearing, this boasting Because now it's to the point where this devil is boasting in his rebellion. Okay, he just being disrespectful. Okay, on a whole nother level. Okay, and the Lord's getting ready to address this, man. And this is why, as these devils are coming out, being satanic and boasting in their Satanism, guess what? The Lord got these devils getting ready for this war. Okay, and you can throw these games, and you can have these rituals, and every the Super Bowl halftime is a ritual. Shit, all these niggas performances are rituals, man. NBA YoungBoy, he performing in hell. All of it is satanic. It's a ritual. So they putting it in your face, man. Okay, one of the biggest celebrities is this nigga YoungBoy, who is absolutely trash. Okay, but he's so popular, all right, and he's an open Satanist. His whole performance is based off a satanic ritual, man. And all these major performers and these major artists, the people that have the most fame and popularity and influence, okay, their whole performance is a satanic ritual, man. Okay, and this devil, he's boasting, okay, in his rebellion. You see, but as he's boasting, the Lord is preparing this nigga for war. Okay, because in this third world's war, all right, that's when this rebellion gonna be put down. Okay, so as you have that going on, let's segue here. All right, now we talked about the meeting that they had yesterday with Netanyahu. He moved his meeting up, to a week, ahead. He was supposed to come on the 18th, but he came, yesterday. All right, because the talks that America and Iran had, and they supposed to talk again today. So Netanyahu was trying to come before those talks to try to negotiate. Like, look, we need to go ahead and strike. Okay, but now the spirit on Trump and America is kind of fall back. Okay, which is going to fulfill the prophecy that America going to have to be drugged into this war. You see? So as they pushing these satanic rituals and all this, guess what? The Lord is forcing these devils to go to war. Okay? And then it shows you, and this is another thing, we're going to play this. Okay? But this is all I'm saying. All this tough talk from Trump, and now this nigga want to talk. Okay? Now he want to talk to Iran. You see? Now him and Netanyahu they're at odds. Okay? But eventually, okay, they gonna have to lock up over there with the kings of the East. Ain't no getting around it, man. And this is gonna be the war that these devils gonna be judged in, man. Okay, so let's play this. Oh, come on, man.
Netanyahu walked out of the White House, and his face told the whole story. 3 hours behind closed doors, 6,000 miles traveled, complete failure written across every expression. Answer? 2 words that destroyed everything. Nothing definitive. Watch what happens when a prime minister flies halfway around the world demanding war and gets told maybe later. The photographs circulating right now show a collision everyone pretended was cooperation. Netanyahu sitting, Trump's leaning back, arms crossed, resistant between them. Mark Rubio looking like he wanted to disappear. This was rejection delivered through body language before anyone spoke. Here's the secret nobody's reporting. Netanyahu wasn't supposed to be there yet. Original meeting date, February 18th. Netanyahu changed it, demanded February 11th instead, moved the entire trip 1 week earlier at his insistence. Why the desperate rush? Because Friday's Oman talks terrified him. Trump's negotiators sat down with Iran, made progress. Witkoff and Kushner reported back success. Trump publicly praised Iranian positions as more favorable than before June war. Netanyahu watched Trump celebrating Iran talks, panicked, called the White House, demanded immediate meeting before next negotiation round could happen. The 72-hour sequence exposes everything. Friday, Iran talks succeed in Oman. Saturday, Netanyahu demands emergency White House access. Monday, White House caves, confirms new date. Wednesday, Netanyahu arrives desperate. From Iran, diplomatic success, to Netanyahu, emergency intervention in 3 days. That's not strategy, that's panic. And the panic was justified. Because after 3 hours of arguments, presentations, intelligence briefings, and demands, Trump said no. Not, yes, let's strike. Not, I'll consider your options. Not even, give me time to decide. Just nothing definitive while maintaining his preference for deals. Translation? Netanyahu flew 6,000 miles, argued for 3 hours, presented attack plans developed over months, demanded immediate strikes preventing Iranian nuclear reconstitution. And Trump said, I'd rather talk to them. That's not alliance leadership. That's polite rejection wrapped in diplomatic language. The body language makes rejection impossible to hide. Netanyahu's jaw clenched throughout photographs. Trump's posture screamed discomfort. Gap between them physically wider than protocol requires. Even Rubio, caught between ally demanding action and president refusing commitment, looked miserable, eyes averted, a forced smile, shoulders tense. These aren't photos of agreement. These are images of fundamental disagreement neither side can publicly admit. And Trump's phrasing reveals everything. He threatened sending another aircraft carrier if negotiations fail. Notice that? If negotiations fail, not when they fail. If Trump's still betting on diplomacy working. Netanyahu's betting it won't. And after 3 hours, neither convinced the other. Netanyahu wanted attack authorization, strike orders, military commitment, definitive timeline for operations eliminating Iranian threats. Trump offered continued talks, diplomatic pressure, vague threats about future action if current negotiations collapse. Those positions aren't compatible. Can't both negotiate seriously and prepare imminent strikes. Must choose diplomatic path or military option. Trump chose diplomacy. Netanyahu wanted war. 3 hours of arguments changed nothing. And now Netanyahu flies home tomorrow with nothing except photographs showing Trump's resistance and public statements, confirming negotiations continue despite Israeli objections. Israeli domestic politics make this catastrophic. Netanyahu rushed the meeting to demonstrate strength, prove he controls American policy, show strikes are imminent because he demanded them. Instead, he returns with evidence of complete failure. Trump unmoved, negotiations continuing, Iranian talks proceeding, nothing achieved except confirmation. Netanyahu can't force Trump's hand anymore.
And see, the devils are at odds. They're divided, as the scriptures say they would. All right? A brother can post it, and Satan be divided against himself, So these devils are divided, man. Okay? The elites, they're divided. Their puppets are divided. Okay? So they're getting closer and closer to trying to pull off this new world order. There's division amongst them. Okay? Because Trump, to get any type of deal, he will look, strong. If he gets any type of deal with Iran, even if it's in Iran's favor, which Iran is dictating the terms. Okay, so if Trump can get any type of deal, this will look strong for him. He can play tough. Okay, but as you can see, and this is all I'm saying, man. Okay, for years and years, we just been hearing about how tough these small hats in Americas are. All right, and America is, man. Okay, just for years they this and that. Oh, big bad America. Oh, these small hats, man. They just slapping Iran around over there. Okay, well, why they can't go do it now? If they is tough, if they've been claiming they are, why the small hats need to fly all the way to America to ask for American help? You see? If they half as tough as they say they is, why they can't just go pull up on them folks, man? Nigga, y'all over there. You flying the wrong way. You flew 6,000 miles west to come to DC. Nigga, you should have flew, all right, that 1,000 miles and some change east to run and go see about them folks, man. If you half as tough as you've been claiming. Okay, and that's why I don't respect none of that tough, like, man, small hats, man, they this and that, man, they not doing a goddamn thing. Why they won't do it today then? If they half as tough as they've been putting on in this propaganda, why they won't go do it today? What's the difference? Okay? America been holding them up. And then even now, why America ain't made no move to go and deal with Iran? You see? Shit ain't sweet. And they know it. Okay? So both of these niggas is arguing like, look, You know, hey, and then Yahoo like, look, we gotta get these niggas now. Trump like, calm down. We're gonna talk. Let's talk to him first. All this chest beating Trump was doing. Where is this tough? Well, something very bad is going to happen if they don't come with a deal. Something bad is going to happen, very bad. Okay, we're gonna see. Iran told Trump it's gonna be regional war. Iran said, "Well, we don't get a deal. We're gonna test their theory of a regional war." Okay, so they supposed to talk again today. Okay, and that's gonna be interesting too, man. Well, I'm just saying, like, goddamn, where all this tough shit at? Okay, where are these tough guys at that the world be, oh, the Americans, they can do anything. The small hats, man, I ran them never. Okay, where this tough shit at today, right now? You know? So let's play this some more.
That's not strength. That's humiliation. Broadcast through body language, statement phrasing, and Trump's explicit preference for deals over strikes. 6,000 miles, 3 hours. Complete failure. His entire plan. Nothing definitive. Trump's nothing to respond to whose fundamental miscalculation about power dynamics nobody wants to admit publicly. December 2024. Netanyahu snaps fingers. Trump authorizes 12-day war destroying Iranian nuclear facilities. February 2026. Netanyahu flies 6,000 miles begging for strikes. Trump says, I prefer deals. 8 months. Complete power reversal. And Netanyahu didn't see it coming. Here's what changed. June war happened before elections when military success helped Trump's campaign. Destroying Iranian facilities, polled and demonstrating strength, won votes. February operations risk oil price spikes crushing American economy before midterm elections. Political suicide, regardless of military success. Netanyahu either misread Trump's electoral calculations or assumed personal relationship would override political reality. The 3-hour meeting tested that assumption. Trump's answer destroyed it. Behind closed doors, Netanyahu likely presented everything. Updated intelligence on Iranian missile rebuilding, satellite imagery showing reconstituted facilities, arguments about closing time windows before capabilities fully restore, demands for immediate action. Trump apparently responded by reiterating diplomatic preference, outlined political costs for military strikes, emphasized ongoing negotiations, showing promise, refused authorization without exhausting alternatives first. So Netanyahu's rushed schedule backfired catastrophically. Moving meeting 1 week early meant arriving before Trump finalized Iran policy. Caught administration still processing Friday's successful Oman talks. Interrupted decision-making before Trump committed to specific path. If Netanyahu waited until original February 18th date, Trump might have concluded negotiations were failing. Become receptive to military alternatives. Considered strike authorization. But rushing meeting meant arguing against diplomatic progress Trump was actively celebrating. Tactical disaster revealing desperation rather than strategic positioning. And Iranian response to meeting outcome reveals they knew Netanyahu would fail before he even landed in Washington. Iranian President Pezeshkian promised harsh responses yesterday. Foreign Minister Araghchi declared ballistic missiles non-negotiable Sunday. Both statements delivered knowing Netanyahu was flying to Washington, demanding exactly those programs be eliminated.
So yeah, Iran is playing it strategically as well because they knew that nigga was coming out here yesterday. So they openly said, all right, the president of Iran said, look, the response going to be harsh. Okay, because they knew he was coming out there to try to coordinate some strikes. Okay, so the Iran president like, look, the response going to be harsh. Okay, and then the Iranian foreign ministry told, openly, publicly said, look, ballistic missiles is non-negotiable. Ain't nothing to talk about with it. Okay, us funding proxies in the region, that's not negotiable. We ain't gonna talk about that. The only thing we can talk about is uranium enrichment. Okay, and even the uranium going to zero, that's non-negotiable neither. Okay, so Iran is dictating these negotiations. All right, and they made these public statements before Netanyahu came over here. Okay, just to put it out there, like, cause they know, like, nigga, I don't know what you're going to talk about. All right, but let's say this openly, nigga. If you want to do a strike, it's gonna be a harsh response. And nigga, the negotiations, you going over there to try to, coerce Trump into certain negotiations where this off the table, you know. So Iran put that out there Sunday before that nigga got on the flight. Okay, so this devil, this nigga's in scrapes, man. Okay, they're divided. Okay, just as the scripture said he would, man. Okay, a brother can put that he shall be in scrapes as well. Okay, but y'all put the rest of this. You know, you brothers can watch the rest of this. All right, but the main point is these niggas divided, man. Okay. So let's go here. All right. This is let's see. Yep, the brother Tazwan Hopeful Lick. All right. This is Mark 3:24. It says, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. Okay, and we're seeing the kingdom that's divided, man. These devil divided on every level. You know, the elites are divided. Okay. Because these devils, they're so ambitious, they're ambitious against one another. There's a lot of treachery amongst them. You know, there's a lot of plotting and scheming, you know, amongst themselves, man. These devils always fight over their own kingdom, man. You know, ain't no honor amongst these. You know, they agree to a point. All right. But these devils have all type of traps even set for each other, man. Because they're the wicked. Okay. So we're seeing the kingdom become more and more, all right, divided. You see, verse 25, and it says, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand, man. And the house of Esau divided against itself, man. Okay, verse 36, verse 26, Mark 3:26, and if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. Okay, so this devil's, you know, the divisions amongst themselves is gonna push them to their end. You know, and this is why World War III is going to start off, man. It's going to jump off because now these small hats, they got to go. Now the small hats got to go fulfill their role in prophecy, man. The least of the flock shall draw them out. Okay, nigga, go be tough. Okay, you know, hype yourself up with this propaganda. Okay, you done blew up cell phones, you done killed, you know, leaders, and you done did all this shit, and you beat your chest, and you know, we destroyed this, and we intercepted all of them. Remember, the Iron Dome intercepted everything. If that's the case, nigga, you should be good. Nigga, you've been telling us the Iron Dome is impeccable. You know, they've been pushing that propaganda. Oh, you know, the Iron Dome shot down 700 missiles. You know, only a stick got through. Okay, so the Iron Dome, nigga, if you tough as you is, the Iron Dome as good as you is, nigga, you shouldn't have to come to America, nigga. Just go be tough. Okay? But the Lord making that nigga have to do this, man. The small hats gotta go fulfill prophecy, man. All right, that's why the spirit's on Trump. Like, look, man, take your ass over there, man. We talking to these folks, man. Okay, like the brother put, was that there has been Netanyahu's 8th visit to the White House since Donald Trump was in office this term already. Yeah, man, the nigga scary. Nigga needs some help. Okay, they dragging America into this, man. So these devils are gonna go be impulsive. Okay, and these small heads gonna go be impulsive and they ass out of there, man. Okay, so let's get this here, Salaki. Yeah, let's get this here. This is GMS Pray Always Hopeful Elect. My brother Quanah Waff, Shalom Mott. Job 20:22, it says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Okay. And this is what we're seeing. He's in scrapes as he get closer to trying to pull off this new world order. You know, it's getting harder and harder for Esau, man. Okay, he's in scrapes. They're divided. All right, they're pivoting. You know, they not sure of themselves. And the scriptures say, "Confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle," man. So they're not sure of themselves like they used to be, man. Okay, they're hesitant. You know, all that rah energy, that shit died within weeks. Okay, Trump about let's negotiate. Okay, you see, Iran is dictating the terms. Okay, see Trump, you know, like nigga. You see Trump like nigga, I can take you, nigga. You know, Trump probably nigga, I can take you in this goddamn Oval Office right now, nigga. I ain't fooling with them folk like that, nigga. Well, I take your ass, goddamn. You know, but yeah, man. So as these devils get closer and closer, you know, to trying to pull off this new world order, man. All right, it's gonna get more screeniest for them, man, and that's why the devil just gonna wild out, you know, and get real frantic. Okay, and just crash out, man. The Lord forcing Esau to crash out. Okay, which is gonna bring in, all right, it's gonna usher in the second coming of Yahushua. All right. Matter of fact, let's end there, man. Let's, like we always let's get that Revelation 11, 14, and 15, you know, we always get into. Okay. Let's see. What have anything? Let's see anything. Yeah, this I'll get this. This the Brother Taza 1 Hope for Lip 144 Obadiah 1 and 4 said, "Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down," said the Lord. Okay, so we're watching the Lord dismantle Esau's empire, man. You know, the Lord is going to bring this man to the ground. Okay, this man has exalted himself, you know, and hyped himself up to be, all right, God in the earth, you know, to the point that he think he can replace the Most High. Okay, so the Most High has allowed this man to build himself up. Okay, just so the Lord can show that he is. All right, and he's going to show that he is, you know, through Yahushua. All right, the second coming of Yahushua. All right, and the Lord is going to cause these nations to go to war, pummel on each other, to Esau to, you know, he's going to cause Esau to begin to judge themselves through this war, man. Okay, which is going to be catastrophic, man. This war is going to be the most deadliest war the earth has ever seen. Okay, and it's going to be mainly Esau on Esau. Okay, because the two, all right, powerhouses of America, all right, and Russia, man, these are two Edomite governments, man. It's going to clash. It's going to end, okay, the rulership of Esau, Edom. Okay, so let's go here real quick. Oh, that's a spirit. It's already on there. Revelation 11 and 14. It says, "The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly. And the seven angels sounded." All right, and the third war is the third world's war. The two wars have already went past. The first World War, the Second World War. All right, in the Second World War, what did you have? The Cold War, which was, you know, a war between who? Russia and America. Okay, they fought proxy wars. They had armed races. Okay, they backed, you know, certain proxy wars throughout the earth. Okay, but now it's to the point to where they're gonna have to directly, okay, hit. And this situation in Iran is going to lead to America and Russia, okay, having a face off, man. Okay, you see, and it's all the judgment of the Lord. And in the midst of that, how is this war going to turn out? And the seven angels sounded, and there was great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord. Okay, Yahweh Shai and his anointed, and he shall reign forever and ever, man. Okay, so the Lord is getting ready to transition kingdoms, man. Okay, and these devils are getting ready to lose. Okay, and we're gonna see these devils more divided. Okay, we're gonna see these devils, you know, in panic mode. We're gonna see these devils more tacky. It's gonna get more tacky, more nasty. Okay, all the above. Okay, and the Lord is forcing Esau to crash out. So that's the point. Just wanted to get into that, Lord will. You know, you brothers, all right, and you sisters are edified once again. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples for his younger brothers, and peace and blessing, salutation to the hopeful, Shalom.